Hi everyone, I'm Srinivas. Welcome back to my channel. Uh, Here we'll be trying to solve a question paper of May June 2019 of subject quantitative analysis for Business Division 1 for second semester BCom under Bangalore University. This question paper consists of three sections: Section A, Section B, and Section C. So we'll move on to the Section A. Section A consists of 7 questions, out of which a student need to answer 5 questions. Each question carries 2 marks. Usually this questions 2 marks question will be theoretical questions. So we'll move forward this part soon. So the first question is, define statistics. A statistics is a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, analysis, and interpretation and presentation of masses of numerical data. So it's very simple meaning. A statistics is a branch of mathematics which deals with collection, analysis, interpretation, and presentation of numerical data or data which is represented in numbers. So that we call it as statistics. So the second question is, state the various measures of central tendency. The three major measures of central tendency are mean, median, and mode. Mean, median, and mode. Okay, the third question is, what do you mean by current year? So this actually, this word current year is used in index numbers in statistics. The current year or the current period refers to the most recent period for which an index has been computed or is being computed. So current year is the year which is the most recent year which is used for calculating the index number. Base year is a year which is used to compare or the base. So based on that base year, the current year will be compared. So that we call it as base year and current year. I hope you're clear with this. So we'll move on to the next question. The fourth question in section A is, what is TRT? TRT, the abbreviation of TRT is time reversal test, is a test to determine whether a given method will work both ways in time forward and backward. So you can just write this definition and you can have a formula for this. Time reversal test is given by this formula. You can just use this answer in the examination. Time reversal is a test used by Fisher's index numbers, which states that whether this index number can be used both forward and backward with respect to time. So that is what the time reversal test says. The fifth question is, if mean is 13, mode is 15, find mean. Sorry, not mean, median. So there is an empirical relationship exists between mode, median, and mean. Mode equals 3 median minus 2 mean. Apply the values of mean is 13 here, 2 times of mean, and mode is 15. Apply there, and finally you will get an answer of 13.66 if you simplify this. Okay, the simplification part is left for the students. The next question is, what is tabulation? Tabulation is a systematic and logical presentation of numerical data in rows and columns to facilitate comparison and statistical analysis. So in simple words, tabulation is just a table to represent in a systematic way in terms of rows and columns to use it for statistical purpose. So that is what we call it as tabulation in terms of statistics. The last question of section A, state any 4 merits of standard deviation. 4 important merits or advantages of standard deviation is, it's rigidly defined, it's based on all the observation of the series, it is amenable to further algebraic treatment. So it is used, standard deviation can be used for further treatment, or we can call it as further analysis in the with the help of statistics. It is least affected by fluctuation of sampling. So the standard deviation will be not much affected with the help of when we are taking in the sampling process. So these are the 4 major merits of standard deviation. So that completes section A. I hope you understood with this concept. Okay, let us go with the section B. In section B, there will be 5 questions, out of which a student need to answer 3 questions. Each question carries 6 marks. So I'll be solving all the 5 questions in this video. First question is, construct the consumer price index number using family budget method. There are 2 methods used to solve consumer price index number, but in this question they have asked to calculate using family budget method. Okay, let us solve the problem with the help of family budget method. So the table is given, items A to F are given, units, price in 2015 and price in 2018. So price in 2015 is base year price, price in 2018 is current year price. Okay, so we'll go and check out with the solution table. The same, whatever question it is given, item is represented in the vertical first column, units which is represented by Q naught. Q naught represents quantity for base year, quantity for base year, and price in 2015 and price in 2018. Price in 2015 is base year price and price in 2018 is current year price. Let me give you the clear meaning or the clarification between base year and current year. Base year is the year of comparison. It will be usually the last or the previous year for the base comparison. Current year will be the year of the latest period for calculation purpose. For example, in the question, if it is 2010 and 2010 and 2020, so current year will be 2020 and base year will be 2010. So whichever we are comparing, the previous one, that will be the base year, and the present or the current year will be the current year. The current year price is represented by P naught, base year price is represented by P naught. Okay, this is till here. This is the question part. Now this is the next part is your answer table. So the first we need to find I. I is price relative. I is given by P1 divided by P naught into 100. P1 divided by P naught into 100. That is called as price relative. So each value of P1 is divided by P naught. 60 divided by 40 into 100 is 150. 45 divided by 35 into 100 is 150. 100 divided by 70 is 140 into 100 is 143. 50 divided by 30 into 100 is 167. 40 divided by 20 into 100 is 200. 1200 divided by 900 into 100 is 103. So after finding I, the next value we need to find is weight, that is W. W is given by P naught into Q naught. So P naught is the price of base year, Q naught is the quantity of base year. So P naught into Q naught, each value of P naught is multiplied by each value of Q naught. You will get this P naught Q naught value, that is weights. So once again I'll explain the first row. 40 into 100 is 4000. Similarly, each value, if you multiply, you will get the same, this 2 columns. Okay, the addition, the total of the W value is summation W, that is 11360. So this value is required for the calculation purpose. So after finding W, just multiply I into W, I into W. So each value of I multiplied by each value of W. 150 into 4000 is 6 lakhs. 150 into 2400 is 3,60,000. Similarly, you will get all the values. Just add all the values. After multiplying, you will get summation IW. Applying the formula for family budget method is given by P0 is equals to summation IW divided by summation W. This value, that is the numerator value is 1158100 divided by 11360. You will get 139.24. This is your consumer price index number. I hope you understood with this question. The second question from section B is, from the following data, compute median. So what they have asked in the question is to calculate median. The question table given is income in rupees more than 0. So more than 0, there are 100 employees working was earning more than 0. More than 1000 rupees, how many are there? 90. More than 2000, 75. Finally more than 5000. So there are only 10 people who are working, who are getting a salary of more than 5000 rupees. Okay, this is what the question is given. They have asked to calculate the median value. Okay, we'll go to the solution part. So the solution table is the income in rupees and number of workers, that is more than cumulative frequency, which is already been given in the question table. So more than 0, try to understand what is given in the question. More than 0, there are 100 employees. It means that the total number of employees who are earning any salary is 100. So we need to convert this more than given values into class interval. This is what very important. So we need to convert, we need to get a class interval from 0 to 1000, 0 to 1000, 1000 to 2000, 2000 to 3000, 3000 to 4000, 4000 to 5000 and 5000 to 6000. But what is given here, this is not your frequency, this is more than cumulative frequency. If you apply this as frequency value, your answer will be wrong. So 0 to 10, let me explain you very clearly. More than 5000. So here if you check clearly, 5000 to 6000, it means that more than 5000, but we don't want the 6000 figure here. More than 5000, how many are there? 10 is there. This is correct. But how to start to get 0 to 10 and from 0 to 1000 to 2000, or 0 to 1000 and 1000 to 2000? Now as I said, this is more than cumulative frequency. There is a procedure to follow how need to get the frequency value. The first value is more than 5000, you have taken as 10. What is the second value? More than 4000, how many are there? 25 are there. Out of 25, there are 10 people who belongs to more than 5000, but I need 4000 to 5000 now. 4000 to 5000, it means 25 minus 10 equals 15. Equals 15. So follow the same procedure. 50 minus 25 is 25. 75 minus 50 is 25. 90 minus 75, 15. 100 minus 90 is 10. So the total of this will be 100. It means that the total number of employees are 100. So after finding this frequency column, calculate less than cumulative frequency. Less than cumulative frequency is succeeding frequency adding from the top. 10. This 10 will be represented here. 10 plus 15 is 25. 25 plus 25 is 50. 50 plus 25 is 75. 75 plus 15 is 90. 90 plus 10 is 100. The last value of less than cumulative frequency will always be equal to n. So after getting this cumulative frequency, so these are the three columns required. Now class interval column, frequency column and less than cumulative frequency column. After finding this, there is a star here. You just check out n by 2. N by 2 is nothing but 100 by 2, which is equivalent to 50. Why do we need to find this 50? After finding this 50 in the cumulative less than cumulative frequency column, you just check a number which is greater than or equal to 50. 10 is obviously not 25, not 50. 50 is equivalent to 50. That is why it is being highlighted in yellow color. This is your median class. Median class. Median class. How to identify median class? The condition says any number in the cumulative frequency which is greater or equal to n by 2. N by 2. So this is your median class. After finding median class, apply the formula. Formula is given by median is L plus H by F n by 2 minus CF. L is 2000. So the lower limit of the median class is 2000, which is highlighted in red color, plus H is 1000. It is being written here. What is that? H is the width of class interval. The width of class interval 2000 to 3000. The difference is 1000. That will be your H. H divided by 25, that is frequency. Frequency is 25. The frequency of median class is 25. Within the bracket 100 by 2 minus the cumulative frequencies, the preceding to the median class, before the median class, preceding to the cumulative frequency is 25. 25 is applied. Finally, you will get an answer of 3000. So that is your median class. And I hope you understood with this. You can try yourself. The third question in the section B is calculate quartile deviation from the following data. The question given here is X and frequency. So X is a variable which is given in a discrete variable 15, 24, 34, 42, 51. And frequency 3, 5, 15, 11, 5. So this is a very simple problem. You need to calculate quartile deviation. So let us go with the solution part. So this is a question table given X and frequency. The next column is cumulative frequency. So get the cumulative frequency. How to get the cumulative frequency is the first value of frequency is 3. The same you retain in the cumulative frequency. 3 plus 5 is 8. 8 plus 15 is 23. 23 plus 11 is 34. 34 plus 5 is 39. So always I used to tell the students 39, the last value of less than cumulative frequency is always should be equal to n. So why do we need to do cumulative frequency? What is the formula for quartile deviation? Quartile deviation is given by Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. So in order to find quartile deviation, we need to find two quartiles, that is Q1 and Q3. So we call that as upper quartile and lower quartiles, or first quartile and third quartile. So let us go with calculating first quartile. For finding the first quartile Q1, start with the first step n by 4. N by 4. N is 39 in this problem. 39 by 4 is 9.75. After finding this value 9.75, just check in the cumulative frequency column any number which is greater than or equal to and nearest to 9.75. It should be greater than, it cannot be less than that. So 3, no. 8, it's less than. So the nearest and greater than is 23. That is why the green colored is your Q1 class. So the representative of that is 33. 33 is your, directly you can apply and tell that 33 is your Q1. But I have given the formula here. This formula is applicable. This formula, both formula for Q1 and Q3 is applicable only for continuous series problems. So this formula is not applicable for this question. I've just given the formula for student to remember the formula. If it is required in the continuous problem, they can apply here and they can get the answer. But here the representative of the Q1 class is 33. So straight away you can take 33 and write the answer. Similarly for Q3, you have to apply a small logic, that is formula 3n by 4. 3 times of n is 39 by 4 is 29.25. 29.25, again check in the cumulative frequency which value is greater than a nearest value to 29.25, that is 34. So that is, this row is represented in yellow color. The representative of that is 42. So answer is 42. After getting Q1 and Q3, apply in the formula of quartile deviation, you will get an answer of 4.5. That is 42 minus 33 divided by 2 is 4.5. So that is your quartile deviation answer. I hope you understood with this question and answer. Question number 4 of section B. From the following information, find which of the factory pays larger wage bill. The second question, which factory wages are more variable? The table states like this: number of employees or wage earner in the factory A is 250, factory B is 200. Mean or average wages is 40 rupees and 45 rupees. Variance is 100 and 225. Okay, let us try to solve this. Solution: in the factory A, number of employees is 250 and the average salary paid is 40 rupees. So the total wages paid for the employees in factory A is 40 is the average age into number of employees. You will get the total wages, that is 10,000. Similarly, if you calculate for factory B, factory B is 200 number of employees and average salary paid is 45 rupees. Multiply this 2, you will get 9,000 rupees. So out of this 2, factory A is highest. The answer for the first question, it's clearly stated. Factory A pays larger wages compared to factory B. Understood? So let us go with the second question. The second question is, which factory wages are more variable? So in order to find that variable, we need to find a concept called as coefficient of variation, or we call that as CV, which is represented by a formula standard deviation divided by mean into 100. In this question, average is given and variance is given. There is a star here. Standard deviation is equals to square root of variance. So what is the variance of factory A? This is 100. Then what is the standard deviation of this? Square root of 100, you will get 10. So this 10 value will be used in the formula. So what is CV for factory A? Standard deviation is 10 divided by 40. 10 divided by 40 into 100, that is 25%. Similarly for factory B, if you check, standard deviation divided by mean into 100, variance is 225. Square root of 225 is 15. 15 divided by 45 into 100 is 33.3%. So when the percentage compared to factory A and factory B is having more percentage. That is why factory B wages are more variable than factory A. So you need to understand this. Note, if the CV value is more, it means more variation and less consistent and uniform. In this question, they are asked to find the variation. So CV value of factory B is more. That means variation is more in factory B compared to factory A. I hope you are clear with this concept. The final question of section B. The marks scored by 50 students in an examination are given below. Taking class interval of 10 to 20, 20 to 30 and 30 to 40, etc. Prepare a frequency table. So this is the marks scored by 50 students. There are totally 50 students. Each student marks are given in a table format, 11, 29, 30, so on up to 55. So there are totally 50 students. We need to tabulate this in a table format, in a frequency table. So this is a simple question. Straight away we'll go with the solution. So the class interval, you can write it down. So the minimum value starts from 11. So you can start from 10 to 20. It is already given 10 to 20. So 10 to 20 to 90 to 100. 90 to 100, why I have taken the maximum value is somewhere around 90 plus. 90 plus will be there, 92. So that is why up to 100 you can take the class interval. So write down the class interval, and the next column we call that as tally bars. What is the tally bars? As 11 in the 10 to 20 class interval, put a tally bar there. So 11 belongs to class interval of 10 to 20. 29, similarly 29 belongs to 20 to 30, a bar. 30, again now 30, you should remember, you have to be very careful. 20 to 30, there is a 30. Again 30 to 40 also there is a 30. So in this too, if you clearly observe, 30 belongs to the next column, not in the previous row. 20 to 30, the 30 belongs to 30 to 40, not in 20 to 30. Why? Because the problem is exclusive class interval. Exclusive class interval means lower limit is included, upper limit is not included. It means that, for example, 90 to 100, if I take, 90 to 99 only should be considered when you are using the tally bars or for solving the problems in the statistics. So 40 to 50, it means that 40 to 50, 40 to 49, the 50 number will belongs to the next one, because 40 is the lower limit, 50 is the upper limit, which is excluded in the exclusive class interval. There are some values like 80 and 30. You should be very careful in applying this value. 80 and 30. 30 does not belongs to 20 to 30. 30 belongs to 30 to 40. Again, 80 does not belongs to 70 to 80. It belongs to 80. So wherever it belongs, you just put a tally bars and finally get the count of it, that is number of students, that we call it as frequency. When you're writing the tally bars also, 1, 2, 3, 4, when it comes fifth, just draw a cross line. Sixth, again you have to put a straight line. So I've just given here, you can have a count on it and you can try yourself. You will have a total number. So the total number should come to 50. But so which to here in this table you have a very clear picture that 50 to 60 category is having more students. That is 13 students are scoring marks between 50 to 60. That is how this tabulation is useful in analyzing. I hope you understood with all the question of section A and section B, the way I solve the problem. Do subscribe my channel, and the section C part of the same question paper will be available in the YouTube channel shortly. Thank you all.